It has been now 16 days since I returned from the road trip where I drove with this car 3,500 kilometers around the Baltic Sea. And I always said to myself that I want to be very, very honest on this channel, and that's why is today a facts and figures video about this trip where I drove through 8 different countries, 4 of which were new for the car. And yeah, I think let's just jump right in. Now, one thing to note, actually, this car is now way cleaner now than how it was when I returned from the trip. I mean, literally all of this was basically covered in salt from the ferry. I had countless flies on the mirror, all over the front. The number plate was completely covered in flies as well. And yeah, it was overall not in a very good shape. It's now, I would say, in a way better shape because it's actually more clean. And yeah, it was absolutely insane, this trip, let me tell you. Another thing that I've also already edited to the car was this one, the new flags. Obviously we crossed in this trip Denmark, Sweden, Finland, now the new ones, Estonia, Latvia, Lithuania and Poland. Which is quite funny, you know, because we actually left Germany from the north, driven into Denmark, then obviously through Sweden, then a little bit, you know, with the night ferry to Naantali in Finland. Then I drove 3.5 hours from Naantali to Helsinki, where I took another ferry to Tallinn. Then I have actually driven from Tallinn to Klaipėda, and then from Klaipėda to Gdansk, and then from Gdansk, from the east, back into Germany, where it basically all started. And yeah, it was absolutely insane. Right, you're actually driving right now in the car because it actually started raining and it was quite cold and windy and actually quite noisy outside. Well, I have also here my phone with a few notes, so actually don't talk BS. And I actually have all the facts and figures of this trip. As I already said, we have covered 3,500 kilometers through 8 different countries. We've traveled through 4 new different countries. Obviously, Estonia, Latvia, Lithuania and Poland. Now, one important thing to note, the car has actually traveled now through 14 countries, not 15 countries. I actually miscalculated. That's why I said in the series, or in the last day, 15 countries. But I actually noted is, after the fact that I said it. And another thing, I've actually crossed with this car, actually in Latvia, the 200,000 kilometers. Come on, you can do it. You can do it. Big 200,000 kilometers. Yes, yes. This car has made it. This car has made it. Finally. And the car is now on 203,000 kilometers. All right, I've actually paid in for tolls, because actually I had to drive over some bridges, and the Öresund and Stora Belt bridge, and also I had to pay in general Swedish and Finnish tolls. So yeah, I paid around 67 euros for tolls. You obviously also need to fuel up the car. Given I actually drove 3,500 kilometers in just over 5 days, I actually need to fuel up the car quite a lot. In fact, I fueled it up 6 times and it cost just around 400 euros, which isn't actually that bad. And yeah, I was obviously 5 days on the road. I slept 3 times in hotels and 1 time on the ferry. All the hotel stays were in Tallinn, Estonia, Klaipėda, Lithuania and Gdansk or Gdynia, Poland. I slept 1 time on the ferry from Sweden to Finland, to Naantali, Finland. And yeah, all the hotel stays combined were 311 euros, and the overnight ferry was 230 euros, which comes to an end, or which adds up to 541 euros and 28 cents. I also had to pay for parking for the car because I actually had to leave it a few hours in Helsinki. There I had to pay for parking. Also had to pay for the parking in the underground garage of the hotel in Tallinn, where I saw this very nice Chevrolet Camaro SS from 1969 with a really cool number plate. And yeah, then I also had to pay in Gdansk or Gdynia, right in front of the hotel, for parking, which was reasonable. I stayed there for about 18 hours and I paid like 250 euros ish. So I actually had to pay only 28 euros for parking, and I also had to eat. Now, eating is actually, surprisingly inexpensive. I only paid 40 euros. 40 euros for food in those 5 days. It actually shows me that the East is actually quite cheaper than the West of Europe, which is no bad thing. It's actually, in some ways also a good thing. And yeah, all of this adds up to 1,073 euros and 18 cents, which it is kind of expensive, a little bit over 200 euros a day, but I've also driven quite a lot because I actually like driving. And all those memories I had with this car. I mean, let me tell you, I almost had a crash with this car because, I saw a crash happen right in front of me in this car. And I've also driven to Russia. Well, not into Russia, basically to the Lithuanian-Russian border. Now, this is a bit of a different spot. I'm literally in somewhere in nowhere of Lithuania, in a little village, and right over there is actually Russia. This is a bit of Russia where Kaliningrad is located, and yeah, I'm here with my car in Russia, or near the Russian border, which is absolutely insane. But it was absolutely insane, absolutely intimidating, and yeah, it was just absolutely crazy. This car has seen so much. I have seen so much. And yeah, it's just absolutely insane. It's absolutely insane. The car is now actually, I already cleaned it from the inside. So it's actually good to go for another trip. And that was basically it. Another one in the books, another amazing trip in the book, and another trip that has shown that a VW Golf 5 is actually quite a good road trip car if you actually want to drive a VW Golf 5. And yeah, let me tell you, we have only a few countries left in the north of Europe until we make our way south again. But yeah, that was it. This was the little facts and figures about the Baltic Sea circulation, and I hope I see you in the next one. Alright, peace!